strategic opportunity to win. Texan, insights that inspire, actions that change the world.
Today, on the 15th of April 2024, we, the leaders of the APC in Ganduje ward, Dawakintupa local government, engaged in thorough deliberation and subsequently decided to suspend the erstwhile governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, in light of the allegation of bribery involving foreign currency. It has come to our attention that Ganduje has been summoned to court to answer for these accusations, a development that we believe could potentially besmirch the reputation of our esteemed political party. This resolution was reached collectively on behalf of all executive members of the APC in Ganduje ward, Dawakintupa local government, Kano State.
All right, welcome back. Yes, indeed, we'll be taking a look at some of those issues raised. First, there's a court matter with the former governor, who is the chairman of the APC, and then a group said he's been suspended, then another counter statement saying, no, perish that thought. So all of that is just happening so quick and fast. And so I've got two gentlemen joining us here today to weigh in on this matter. My extreme right, Dr. David Ogbole, Executive Director, Citizens Watch Africa. And sitting right beside him is Muhuyi Magaji, who is the Chairman, Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission for Kano State. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Okay, Mr. Gwele, let me start with you now. Your impression of what this is all about. What's going on?
Okay, I'd like to say that a healthy democracy stands on a tripod of political actors, umpire institutions, and the office of the citizens. And in the office of the citizen, we are out to ensure that there is healthy political parties that can contribute to economic and social development of any nation, as far as the governance space is concerned, either as the ruling party or as major or minor oppositions. And a worrisome development or trend in recent times in Nigeria is the turnover and crisis within political parties, especially the headship. You see that play in the Oshomole time. You see that play also in PDP, Yochiayu. You see that playing also in Labour Party. And currently, it is back in APC. So our concern basically is that this is not healthy for the growth of democracy in Nigeria. The issue in question, the issue in question is the suspension of the APC national chairman, Umar Ganduje, by his Ganduje ward of Dawakintupa local government in Kano State, by his ward ESCO, and then the thwarting of that same suspension by the state working committee of the party in Kano State. Basically, it does not present a very good picture of the party that is ruling in Nigeria right now. We believe that this is an opportunity for APC to be able to rally in their house and ensure that no sabotage and no political banditry or robbery affects their chances of being stable to be able to deliver governance values to Nigerians, which is their responsibility as far as the ruling party is concerned right now. So for me, my basic impression is that it is a worrisome development that needs to be quickly arrested.
Well, mine is not about a suspension or what is happening in politics. I think I'm here to discuss the issue of what the Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission did, and perhaps the investigation that led to institution of court case, which we are now pursuing before the court of law. And incidentally, you can see His Excellency, the former governor, was the one that appointed me in 2015 to head that agency. And I was reappointed in 2020 for another 5-year term. So basically, we have an institution in Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission that is devoid of political activities, and that is, they are dedicated to fight corruption, check maladministration, and fight injustice in Kano. It's a conglomeration of three, different activities. That is protection of human rights, receiving public complaints and mediation, then at the same time fighting corruption. Even though that group that said they suspended him also cited this, saying he needs to go clear himself with some of these corruption cases. But your journey has not exactly also been smooth. You've had some bumps with the CCT matter. But he himself, former governor too, has said, he was quoted to have said, look, it's for that kind of scenario, if it's a crime, it's a federal that can try him or could prosecute him and not the state. Is that right? Chambali, it might interest you to know that before His Excellency, the former governor, sued the commission to the court to obtain a restraining order, which incidentally the court in its wisdom decided to say that, yes, the commission had the power to investigate him or any other person, because prior to that, we were given a restraining order against him, his family, and all other appointees that was appointed by him. And it took about 6 to 7 months before we were able to quash that order. So now, the court in its wisdom, at the end of the day, they acknowledge the fact that the commission have the power to investigate corruption, maladministration, or any other act of corruption that is created by the state law. But we cannot investigate what is federal offense like money laundering. And what we did was, we did not investigate a federal offense. We charge, it's about 8 count charges. So the 8 count charges is all bordering on allegation of corruption that has to do with the state law. And it might interest you to know that before he sued us, he was able to, in our own finding, use state resources, 240 million naira to sue the EFCC, same EFCC that he was, perhaps they come saying that they are... You verified that it was state resources? Yes, we verified. In fact, it will not even go unpunished, because what is happening now is a tip of the iceberg. As I'm talking to you, we are investigating a case whereby 51.3 billion naira local government funds were directly taken from the government coffers, sent to other individuals, and we trust it to people. So we are, and this is not only the case that we have filed. We have filed a series of cases, and anybody that wanted to carry his cross, because we have the case whereby 1 billion naira in April last year was removed from government coffers under the pressures of renovating 30 roads in the metropolis, and it was taken away, thanks to Bureau de Change. We have a case whereby 430 million, all these cases are before the court. We have a case of 4 billion naira, whereby it was sent from consolidated revenue account of Kano to an agricultural company. And back to what you said, that yes, yes, that is the beauty of what we are doing. In Nigeria, we're not supposed to have scapegoats. We're not supposed to have those that will be shielded. Even we are in the anti-corruption committee, we are facing the test, and our integrity has been tested. That is what it's supposed to be. Anybody that is charged before the court of law, let him go and answer. We have a robust, judicial system and if you want to know that what the judiciary did in this country, go to our law report. You see that we have a judicial system. If the court, you are not satisfied with what the court did, then we go upstairs. Very interesting perspective that you. I mean, the fact that we're still going to be exploring the cases that you have against him and, when your investigation started. But let me come to you, sir. A very interesting perspective you brought to the discussion with regards to, what happens within political parties and what they mean, the consequences for a stable democracy. And, some people can say, well, yes, indeed. I mean, when you look at what has happened within other political parties, for instance, this same APC, PDP too has also gone through the same thing with its chairman, Mr. Secondos. You've also had that with the Labour Party, which is something that they really yet to put to rest. But we saw attempts to remove the Labour Party chairman even from his own ward in Edo State. So
it does appear that almost all the major political parties have experienced this sort of scenario. But in this case, in this extant case, when Mr. Ganduje was being made the chairman of the APC, some saw it as a slippery slope because these charges that are now being preferred against him, were already existing. He had quite a controversial run with this, charges or these allegations of bribery, which eventually made it to the court. So in your opinion, do you think that the APC already set itself up for this sort of scenario, given the antecedents or the allegations that was already, preferred against their own chairman?
You see, when it comes to matters of allegation, allegations are normal issues or occurrences as far as human existence and coexistence is concerned. And every human being nobody is a saint, and every human being has one or two things that if you will dig long enough, you'll be able to find about one individual or the other. But when it comes to political offices and the judgment of the party to appoint a person into their highest office, especially the office of the national chairman, it's important to trust the judgment of the party. I want to strongly believe that in the case of the PDP, Yochayu, in the case of APC, Umar Ganduje, perhaps they have done their due diligence and they felt that those issues are not enough to be able to interfere or stop him from delivering his duties as national chairman. Therefore, they went on to appoint them. As to the matters of allegation, of course, once you are at the top, you are always the topic. And it is when you come up to strategic political positions or social positions that you see people begin to come out at you with one allegation or the other, some of which perhaps you are guilty of, or some which perhaps are just trumped up issues, because to be the man, you have to hit at the man. So those are issues that are on the ground. But like I said earlier, let's trust the judgment of the party, in appointing him as their national chairman, and also see to it that we wait out for the judicial proceedings or processes to either acquit them or to hold them guilty of all of the offenses that they have been alleged to, have committed.
When you said the judgment of the party, I mean, it wasn't like as if a convention was organized to, pick him as chairman. This happened, within a space of political convenience, some will say. If that is the situation, can you really say that, the judgment of the party should be trusted on this one, or the judgment of a few individuals who just thought it was politically expedient to have him at that time?
When you talk about power, power is usually bequeathed to a few by the majority to hold on, trust, and use for the benefit of the majority. So when it comes to the matter of who should assume or take the position of the erstwhile APC national chairman, that's the former governor of Nasarawa State, the exigency of situation at that time warranted that a few individuals trusted with power within the party take that decision for the benefit of the generality of the members of the party. So I think that's what happened in that circumstance or situation. And let's wait till their national convention, which is upcoming, happens, so that a substantive or another leadership can be elected by the party. But for now, I think in the interest of convenience or political convenience, few had to take that decision in the interest of the majority.
Well, because there are two different scenarios. I think on Wednesdays, when the Kano state government says they're going to be prosecuted.
That's tomorrow.
Yes, it's tomorrow. And this purported expulsion, or is it suspension, within the political party has just happened. Do you think that individuals who have pending cases against them should be made chairman of political parties?
When you talk about that, the scenario in Kano State right now, we are faulting it on two grounds. Number one, the constitutional procedures as laid down in the APC Constitution, which we, as Citizens Watch, had the opportunity to go through. And then number two, allegations of external interference and orchestration by the NNPP-led administration of Kano State right now.
You have it on good authority?
We have our facts on ground as to meetings that were held by the few members of the Ganduje, Ward ESCO of the party, that they met with the state government officials, and then they received large sum of money as bribe to be able to orchestrate that a suspension.
Who received bribe? The
few members of the Ganduje Ward Escos of APC. It was on that ground that the State Working Committee now had to thwart and to nullify that particular suspension.
Was that reported?
Yes, it is reported, and we have letters.
No, I mean, to the authorities, I mean, they are anti-corruption agencies. So are they aware of this allegation you mentioned?
He can own up to that situation or not.
No, did you report, did anybody, since you were made aware, did you forward the case to agencies like this or the police or anybody?
Like we say, I have a letter right now to that effect, and preparations are being made to be able to charge all of these people that are found culpable, you know, to come to the appropriate authorities.
Is your agency aware of this?
We are not entirely aware.
Okay.
And what I'm saying
is, this is the information on the note to you now. You go and do your findings.
You know, we are trying as much as we can to stay away from dirty or muddy water of politics. What we are doing, we are trying to be professionals because we are dealing with matters that has to do with legal issues. And in governance...
No, bribery is bribery.
Yes, what I'm saying is, if anybody reported the matter, we are trying as much as we can to see that we investigated the matter. Like all these cases that were taken to court. Most of these cases happened during the time when the former governor was the governor. I was the chairman of the agency. We started investigating the allegation that he was taking us to court to stop the commission from investigating when he was the governor. And I made statement over the media that we are investigating the matter. As at that time, because perhaps of the immunity, he did not stop us. But after the immunity, then that's what happened. So what we are doing in the commission, at least as subnational, I think at least we can beat our chest to say that we are trying as much as we can to be professional and to do our work without fear or favor.
That's an interesting fact. Yeah. You're saying that you started investigating the governor while he was sitting?
Yes, obviously. Even this issue, it was reported. Even this issue, the issue that we have taken to the court, like the issue whereby a company that was owned by the state government, that is a Kano court in January, the company was billions of naira. It was sold to a company whereby the company, based on investigation, we were able to find out that it belonged to his family.
And you found all of this before he left office?
Yes, we found it before he left office. And
did you confront him with the information?
Personally, I did. I know you may not be unaware of the fact that I was suspended for 2 years. I was asked to leave the office so that they will investigate it.
The CCT case?
The CCT case just happened recently. It happened recently. And what we are saying is, even the CCT, I don't want here to apportion blame on anybody. But what we are saying, it is important that we that are doing this job to pass the music. If we are found wanting, like what the CCT said, they calculated the account, that is what entered into my account, that they said it is not commensurate to my income. For 8 years, 290 million naira. What I'm saying is, I was offered bribe of that same magnitude in one case. I have a case of 4 billion naira in a court now.
Who offered you bribe?
What I'm saying, a lot of issues, a lot of things. What I'm saying is, those that are familiar with Kano politics know it. I have it in authority. Here, I have a voice note in my phone, whereby somebody was, even in the recent case which we talked, we are trying to recover 220 million naira for Kano people. Somebody was sent somebody, a third party, to intimidate us with money that he's trying to bargain with $30,000. I report all this to the governor. So what I'm saying is, we are investigating this matter right before he left the office, and he know, and it was reported that plot to remove Kano anti-corruption chair taken because he was investigating Ganduje's family.
Was the person that offered you by a government official?
I'm saying it's in different cases. In different cases, it's not in this case.
No, you said you reported to him. You said you reported to him that somebody offered you bribe, or you made him aware of it.
You see, I reported to the governor because my office is attached to the office of the governor. During his time, I remember vividly when he comes to the office to commission the new edifice of the office, he invited the current president to come and commission the office. He commissioned the office, and he made it clear to all of the people there that the commission shall go after anybody that is found wanting in corrupt practices.
Yeah, so I'm asking.
And what we are saying is, I had it in authorities, including some pictures that I snapped, including some, because initially what they are doing is they will find somebody that you are very close to. They will reach out to that person will reach out to you, enticing you with bribe. Yeah, and they know it.
I heard that. So I'm asking, was he a government official at the time?
Somebody who is a government official in government. Somebody who was in the government official.
So when you report to the government, what did they say?
They didn't say anything. And perhaps such kind of things even brought trouble to me. Because, you know, in some quarters, I was found to be a stubborn person.
So, because the press statement that he issued said they saw the charge sheet on the 3rd of April. What they listed there was $413,000 and 1.38 billion respectively. So, these other cases, are you saying that, are these the cases he's being charged for? Because he clearly states there that he's already told the government, he's already out there, that for these particular cases, the state government has no power on this. So, are you sure that these are the only cases, or are there more cases?
No, you see, I'm not here to join issues with anybody. I think the best place to go and combat this is to the court. If he believes that the state government doesn't have the power to charge.
So are you charging him based on this too?
We are charging him based on this, because I don't know why he would say the state government doesn't have the power. Look at Section 22 of the Kano Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission. It's clear. And we charge based on the state laws. We quote the laws. And we quote the circumstances based on factual evidence, documents from banks, financial institutions. Like, for instance, whereby you have a situation whereby you sold a company belonging to the state, to your own company. We established this. And without even remitting what you said, under your hand, and you think the state government cannot charge this. I don't think this can hold water, with all due respect. I have the legal background as well, and I know this, what we are doing, we do a meticulous job, and it's not even easy to file a charge. We have 8 count charges, and we have other charges that we believe it's linked to him. But what we see is anybody that wants to carry cross, we are not desperate to charge the former governor, no. We are only desperate to make sure that we clean the society. We are only desperate to know that what is happening in terms of corrupt practices at subnational, at local government level, did not contribute in the decay of this nation.
Yeah, but in terms of due process, would you say, because if there is already he went to court to challenge your jurisdiction to try him on a particular matter, have you seen the judgment and are you appealing? Because you have to follow due process, don't you?
We have followed due process. We did not charge him. Look, I have gone through the judgment. You said, have I seen the judgment? The judgment was given against us. So, and it was not completely against us. The judge acknowledged the powers of the court, and that was why he quashed the order that stopped the commission from investigating those of his family and that of his associate and all appointees. And what the judge says, yes, the commission have powers to investigate any other matter like this issue, because all what he's saying, the issue that was taken to court is the issue of dollar bribery issue. Go through the charge, go through the head count. We did not make mention of that. We were clever enough in framing our charge to make sure that we did not fall to that trap. What we did was to make sure that the issue of bribery, which the court acknowledges, it acknowledged the fact that we have the powers to do it, and that's what we did. And the other issues, like the other 3 count charges, there's a charge whereby you give your son 51 plots of individual which you hold in trust for the good people of Kano and all Nigerians. This was a land use access. Now we give it direct allocation to a company, a corporate vehicle as we call it. Now the corporate vehicle sold this and give to your son the sum of 700 million naira, sent to Bureau de Change, sent to Dela, take it to your son. No, we have to do something on that. This is why this commission was created. It was created sui generis to make sure that it prevents this kind of activities in the state.
So certainly your own concerns right now, yes, I'm just trying to, because there are 2 different issues. There's the issue of trying to remove the current APC chairman from, through political means. That does appear a political matter. These other matters are corruption and allegations and seem to want to hold him account, which is another, excuse me, critical tripod of democracy: accountability, fighting corruption, making sure that the systems are in place and institutions do their jobs. This is the kind of thing that you certainly will want to promote as well. Isn't that correct?
That's true.
So do you have any objections to what it is that the anti-corruption body is doing in Kano State?
Of course, I do not have an objection to it. My concern is the procedures, like I said earlier. There are laid down constitutional provisions for the suspension of a leader, especially a national working committee leader. And there are also other allegations, like I pointed out earlier. So if you will do anything, follow your constitution. of the party. And if the laid down constitution says, if there is any report brought against a leader within the party, the first port of call is the disciplinary committee. And the disciplinary committee will now forward their recommendation to either the local government, depending on the strata in which the complaint, emerges from. And then within 7 days, they are supposed to now look at it and see that whatever is the relevant, inference or judgment or conclusion they will give on that matter is given. And every conclusion they give is subject to the review of the higher body, from local to the state, and from the state then to the national. But in this case now, where there are allegations of impersonation of members of the ward, there are also allegations of external influences from NNPP, the ruling party in the state now. We are simply saying that suspension, yes, those are internal party disciplinary mechanisms. They are all in order. They should be allowed to take their own course within a party. But the integrity of the process is very, very important.
So that advice now is for the people in the party. It's for political party members of the APC who are trying to remove the national chairman. But for the external body, like this, the anti-corruption body, it has absolutely no bearing whatsoever on the political party and its internal workings.
No.
Do you have a problem with their processes?
You see, the allegation that the ward executives that suspended Ganduje gave us that he is facing bribery charges, and that is a dent on their party. So they found it necessary to have him suspended before he faces all of those matters. It sounds very, very...
They have a point, don't they?
Yeah, they have a point. But the procedure, like I said, what should be done? When you sit in a Fiat... and
what's wrong with the procedure?
Beautiful. Like I said, when a group of people sit together, they are supposed to forward their recommendations up after the disciplinary committee has sat. And the procedure is that the disciplinary committee will invite the person in question and give him the right of fair hearing. The principle of audi alteram partem. You don't pass a judgment on a person without hearing him. In this case, there was no time that he was invited to be able to answer on matters of this or matters of that, that is, creating a dent on their party. So they just start unilaterally, without recourse to constitutional procedures, and then they made that. That is the ground on which the State Working Committee is standing now, and saying that those people impersonated and those people breached constitutional procedure. Therefore, that suspension is not standing. That is the issue that we are talking about.
Do you factor in, because this case, this is not the first time we're hearing about these cases, and he's gone down memory lane as to what transpired while he was governor at the time. As a citizens group, or Citizens Watch, do you factor in the impression that people have about this matter when you try to make a case or say, look, you have to go through certain procedures? Because there's those who say, procedure or not, yes, but it doesn't invalidate the issues out there about corruption cases of what they saw or what they perceive happened at the time. Because some think trying to make a point to go through certain procedures is a way of trying to quash the entire allegations or investigations.
Not quite. Not quite. Procedures are necessary, not to quash, but to be able to set the record straight and to ensure things are done the way they are supposed to be done. These are matters of justice, internal justice. So the aim is not to narrow it to the point of, that the aim is to quash. No. That is not the matter at all.
But some people argue that ideally, given the reason that these people have cited, that it really, and you have agreed that they have a point, that, it will be improper, that if it's going to be facing trial tomorrow in Kano State, it will be improper for him to be going as national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Ideally, shouldn't he have honorably resigned?
That is left to him to decide whether he should honorably resign or not. I am not in a position to ask him to honorably resign.
Well, as somebody who is looking at, democracy and what it means and all of that, isn't that something that, should be advocated?
Yeah, if he finds it necessary to resign,
you don't think it's necessary?
To provide a level playing field for him to be investigated or even prosecuted, that's his own decision to make.
So, Does Citizens Watch why didn't Citizens Watch do the same for the PDP and Labour Party?
Yeah, we made our statements in all of those cases. Even the the NNPP, leadership imbroglio presently. You're aware that presently NNPP, there was a parallel convention the other time, and one of the factions now, they have invited Abbas Yusuf to answer as to why he took sides with one of the conventions. They had a parallel convention. Leaders emerged here, leaders emerged here. All of those matters, like I said earlier, are threatening the strength of political parties and their ability to
in order for this trend not to be threatened.
So we made our statements.
Yeah, I hear you. In order for these issues not to even be so muddied up like that, would you recommend in the days ahead that if people have this kind of allegations against them, they shouldn't be seen at least continuing in office? There should be room for unfettered investigation wherein either something happens, whether they step down or something, to allow proper investigation, which could be done in good time, so that whether they're guilty or not, they come back.
Yeah, you see, those are precedences that happened in other climes.
Your recommendation, what would it be? Basically,
my recommendation is that when people enter into offices, those people actually, they are custodians of public values. And the principle of integrity, principle of track record, should be able to judge, first of all, the training up of people who will be able to enter into offices. Because character, competence, capacity, those are issues that
So when they face allegations, what will your recommendations be?
When they face allegations, depending on the nature of the allegations, the presumption of innocence until found guilty can be able to hold in those matters. But in this case now, like I said earlier, let the course of justice be followed.
So what's your recommendation?
That what?
What is your recommendation to handle these kind of cases moving forward? If people are accused while they're in office, what would you recommend be done? Either to them or they do?
Let the law take its course. And then on their own honor, we can leave it to them to either,
we leave it to them?
Yes.
But we know in this country, people it's very tough. Even if they catch you red-handed, they deny.
Those are matters of personal principles that you don't impose on people.
So you still recommend we leave it to them?
Yes. But the recommendation will be to honorably resign. But that is their own honors or decisions to make, like I said.
Well, for this kind of cases, I mean, when you said you investigated anybody who was still in office, what measures, are there measures that have been put in place to ensure that, look, whoever is in government, governor, president, whatever, measures are there to ensure that these kind of cases don't just happen like this? Because there are questions as to what should we do about immunity clause? In your case, if you're not back on this seat, they try to push you out, so somehow you're back on the seat. So some people may not survive that. What recommendations, if I could follow suit as well, should be done to ensure that things like this never swept under the carpet if people are eventually found guilty?
You see, it's unfortunate that we have a system that perhaps didn't work for the people. You see, in my own case, I was just heard of my suspension over the media when I was ready to go to the office.
Oh, really?
I just get set to go to the office, then I heard of my suspension, and they said somebody from the Accountant General office reported me to the assembly, and it's the same assembly that suspended me. But ironically, the assembly was supposed to be the place whereby we recommend under Section 18 of 3 of the Kano Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission. It was the same assembly that was supposed to recommend for this. And then the assembly have the powers under our constitution to take appropriate measures that may even lead to, removal of somebody from office and to pass justice. And if you look at what happens, just like what I said, whereby in almost December last year, December 2022, the Attorney General, who is the chief law officer of the state, sued the EFCC on behalf of the government of Kano State, make reference to a personal case of the former governor, that this case is before a court, and now the EFCC shall be stopped from investigating it. And on the same court, in the same court that issued the order against the commission, that they were saying that we don't have the power to investigate. So what I'm saying is, if our institution will be working, and if we will stick to our oath of office, whereby a public officer will subscribe to an oath of office, whereby he will say that he will do right to all manner of people without pure or favor, affection, or ill will, that he will not allow his personal interest to influence his official conduct, official decision, then if we are to stick to that, and we are good to go. We have a robust system.
So the current governor too, should also be, on his toes, because you certainly can also be investigating him too.
That is what people are instigating. Most of people
instigating. I mean, shouldn't his mind be prepared towards that if you did it with the past governor?
Well, I believe it depends on the mindset, just like what my colleague said here. You see, depending on what we said, there was a time when I approached the governor personally at the head of anti-corruption, draw his attention on these inferences. And I made references, but it did not go down well with him. But the commission started working, unknown to me that some people are plotting against the commission and myself, because they initially started to kill the commission entirely.
All right. Well, to thank both of you for coming on. Dr. David Ogbole, Executive Director, Citizens Watch Africa, and Muhi Magaji, Chairman, Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission for Kano State. Thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so business news on Sunrise Daily will be on the hour. We'll be back after that.